Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Bridging Impact Podcast, the podcast that is passing wisdom to the next generation of athletes, coaches, and parents to transform leaders on and off the court. And in today's episode, it's an episode of Coach's Corner where every single Friday, I, Coach Furtado, I share what I am learning from the week as a coach, but also the questions I'm getting asked from parents and athletes as well. So with this conversation today, I really want to frame it towards making sure that we love and value all of our athletes, right? Not just the ones who are in the gym and grinding. And also with the valuation, also just the power of asking questions instead of assumptions, because I think it's something that I need to continue to work on as well. So, I mean, obviously as coaches and even as parents, right? Or even as athletes, right? We glorify, people that work hard. Kobe Bryant obviously is the one that comes to mind a lot of times. Everyone talks about the Mamba mentality, this, that. Every coach wants to coach, a kid with a Mamba mentality. But, oftentimes, different kids have different aspirations, right? And I think the most important thing that I want to start this episode with is we have to ask and make sure, because we put our hopes and dreams on all these kids. We want them all to become Kobe Bryant, when in reality, some people are just playing basketball because they like basketball. They don't love it. And I think that's okay. It's okay that, as a coach, right? Of course, I love coaching kids that are committed. They want to grind, it's fun, right? I'm not going to sit here and say I don't love coaching those kids, but I also got to value and for me, especially because sports go beyond the game, right? Everything goes beyond the game, right? And it's about teaching life lessons that will stick with them for the rest of their life. And that is what is most important. So with that, what I want to really make sure that we understand at the end of this is the importance of asking those questions, right? So a lot of times, right, it's, hey, what are your dreams? What are your aspirations of playing, basketball or baseball, whatever that sport is? And then coming to kind of a conclusion, because at the end of the day, a lot of times I don't even know what their aspirations are because they just haven't had the opportunity to articulate it. And so, hey, do you want to play collegiately, right? This is what it's going to take. You're going to have to sacrifice this, this, and this. Is that something you're interested in doing? And if the answer is no, right, that's okay. But, also knowing that that athlete still likes the game of basketball, still wants to be pushed, still wants to be challenged, but they may not stay extra 10, 15 minutes later, but they still love the game. They still want to maximize the experience where they're at right now. And I think it's also important to have the conversation of, okay, like you like playing basketball, right? You want to get better, but it's not like your number one priority. I think it's good to be real with them that if you're going to end up not getting as much play time because of that, I hope you're okay with that, right? We'd love to have you on the team, but if you don't really if you don't love it, you don't put in the time, the grind, and there are people that, understand the plays better, are, basically more talented, and have worked harder, then they're going to get that spot. So I think it's important to have those conversations too. It's not just, oh, it's okay, you like basketball, here, go roll it out. The person that's been grinding and working harder than you is going to get your spot. Like that's just not how it works. But I really want there to be an emphasis because I feel like a lot of times, like I saw something this week and I had a conversation with a mom. So I'll say one thing I saw a dad post, and he's been on the podcast before, Coach Lee Taft. He's great. He tweeted, he's like, I had a conversation with my son, and my son said, hey, Dad, I don't want to play college basketball. He's like, that's fine, that's great, and there's an immediate pressure relieved off of the kid, because I think Coach Lee Taft, like he's big into training athletes. And so, when you have that and your dad's so into that, right, you think that, your dad who obviously is like your everything, right? And I don't know their situation at all. I literally just saw this on Twitter. So I'm making a little bit of assumptions and generalizations, but, they really value that opinion, right? So they want to kind of please, please, please. And at a certain point, right, that game of basketball may just be like, I love the game of basketball, but I just want to play in high school. Right, I don't want to put in the grind, try and play collegiately because it's a sacrifice, right? And we can have a conversation about that another day. But just knowing that that is an option to just play, and that they're going to be loved and valued for that. Because a lot of times I feel that I see parents put pressure on their kids that they have to go and be grinding and they have to go to the collegiate level. And that's just, that's not true. And I think, for parents, but also for coaches at the same time, to give love to our players at the end of the bench, who may just be, having a good time, bringing the spirits up, may not be grinding every day, but, if we are going to do our job as coaches, right, we are life coaches, maybe not the Tony Robbins beat our chest, but we're teaching them about discipline. We're teaching them about teamwork, accountability. And that means that we need to build connections and relationships with our players that, may not love it as much, right? It's our responsibility to build those connections and go out of our way, right, to still continue to uplift that group of people. So that's what I really want to share with everyone on this episode, and not put your hopes and dreams onto them. It's their hopes and dreams. We are guides. We are mentors in their journey, in their life journey. And that is a privilege in itself. And so if we impose our own, dreams and aspirations, right? Like if I look, and I'm guilty as this as ever, right? Especially because I feel like we have a great program. So like sometimes I'm working with myself on not taking things personal if people don't show up to it. I mean, it's a little bit of a conversation for another day, but at the end of the day, it's their choices that they're making. And, all I can do, and all Bridging Impact Basketball can do, is provide great programming for there to be there and help athletes develop as leaders and basketball players. And if people don't want to show up, that's their choice. And teaching athletes that they make choices in life. And if I'm going to be honest, like those that are working this summer and working with structure and a plan, and those who are maybe working without a plan, just showing up, like there's going to be, hard feelings and come the fall when some people may be getting cut, maybe, not getting play time. But it's just the truth. Like if you're not going to be putting in that work, right, you have to understand that may be the case. But at the same time, I really just want to make the point that we got to love those athletes that still may not be putting in the work, because number one, they may put in the work the next year. And also it's just valuing humans, right? We are here to help them become entrepreneurs. We're here to help them become professionals eventually. We're here to help them get into college, and it goes beyond the game, right? Whether they, I still have, I don't hoop for professionally. I never hooped collegiately, but, I still hoop for physical activity, and it's my favorite physical activity. I mean, I love lifting weights too, but it's because I have a positive relationship with it. So if we can provide that positive experience, it can have that ripple effect way beyond, trying to maximize and squeeze every ounce and dream out of a kid. So, let me know what your thoughts are on this. It's a little bit of a debatable topic, because I know a lot of people, talk about pushing their kid, and what I will, wrap this up with is, if you do have, an athlete, if you're a coach or a parent, and they have high aspirations, well, then you got to push them. You got to kick their butt when they're not putting in the extra time. Because if they want certain aspirations, if they say they want something, but their actions don't align, well, that's not learning how to be a professional, how to be successful, because your actions speak way louder than your words. And it's great to have ambitions and have a plan, but if you don't put in the work to execute that plan, it don't matter at all. So it does go both ways. It's not just black and white. But the main thing I want to encourage you all that are listening to this is to have conversations with your athletes about what they want, and then how you can support them and hold them accountable to what they want. Because if they want greatness, then you got to hold their butt accountable. But if they just want to have fun, then you're gonna coach them in a different way and love them up in a different way. So that's it for this week of Coach's Corner. I may be pausing the Coach's Corner podcast. I'm still debating that yet. I'm actually, making some shifts into the Bridging Impact Basketball business. There's going to be a little bit of a rebrand coming up. Got some fall programming, August camps coming up. So I'm trying to find the best way to balance the podcast and the content creation with, leadership and basketball trainings. Still, learning as a young coach, but I'm beyond grateful to be able to communicate with you through this microphone, through connected with so many great coaches through the internet, and also just the opportunity to coach kids through the game of basketball. It's so much fun. I'm beyond grateful for the life I get to live, and get to go to NBA Summer League in Vegas this weekend. First time I'm going to Vegas. So, hey, wish me luck. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, wonderful day whenever you are listening to this. Coach Furtado out. Peace.